Mission.
Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the gun guy. Now, I've got some startling video to show you in just a second that was posted by another YouTuber. It was posted right after the California Department of Justice showed up at his house with 4 agents in an unmarked vehicle to confiscate his 2 AR-15 pistols. From what I understand, this happened today. And when they confiscated them not because this man's a criminal, he's not, but because he tried to legally register them. I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to give you a recap afterwards. I got to tell you, after watching this, I try not to lose my temper, but I actually had to spend some time praying and calming down before I produced this video. I suspect you'll feel the same. Here's the video that the man shot when the officers showed up at his door.
But that was for the 80%. So I have a question because I've read and I've talked to many people that the 80% lower pistols.
But these are all
one guy will.
These are all opinions.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be settled in court. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer.
Is there any way I can keep the comp mag that I paid for?
If we take them as we find.
Are you serious? I just bought those.
So that's what I'm telling you. This is for the courts to decide. It's not us. For me, they tell me it's illegal because they find these. We tell them we pick them up. That's what we do. Okay. Now, those are the sections that they refer me to. Those sections that I refer to give to the lawyer, and he can go through them. He can file paperwork, whatever he needs to do.
Well, you guys just made a case to tell people not to register their guns.
That's not up to me.
Well, it just sucks because I'm trying to be.
I don't make those laws.
But you did take an oath. You did take an oath.
We all vote. So
you guys did take oaths.
That's how it is.
The problem is that this is
to uphold the law, and that's why I'm
of the Constitution
and the Constitution of California.
So the federal Constitution is different,
and for both.
But the problem is that I'm trying to be a law-abiding citizen,
and you are, sir.
and you know, all 4 of you know that this. You guys know that this. You guys.
You're not going to jail today.
You guys know that this is wrong.
The right thing. And we understand. So that's why you're not going to jail.
The fact that there's laws and there's firearms laws, there's California has stricter firearms laws, the fact that
I know, but
you or one of us may disagree with them.
But no. The problem is that the broad spectrum where it's like some people are like, my AR-15 pistols went through just fine, and then there's other people that are like, nah, I got my shit confiscated. So that's where it's like where in the law does it say that this Unsafe Handgun Act happened for this registration that happened? Because prior to June or July 3rd of 2018, all ghost guns 80% lowers had to be registered with the DOJ.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I registered them. If I would have just let them as lowers, then it probably would have went through. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. The lowers would have gone through. Like I said, you registered one.
Well, I registered 4.
I have one that you registered in 2018, June 20th, as a lower.
Mm-hmm. That was prior to the...
That's a 0 caliber. So the moment you put an upper on it, it becomes an assault weapon. The only way you can build this and own this one,
but it's
we're not asking to see it. No. I'm just letting you know for your reference.
But they're fixed mat.
Well, you're not letting me talk.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm a little flustered.
We're leaving, so you're not listening.
Damn. I apologize too.
There's no point in me.
I'm serious. I apologize. I really did. I'm very sorry.
But there's no point if you can keep it.
I'm very sorry.
That one, if you did not build it as a featureless rifle, it's an assault weapon in California. That's a felony. You're found in possession of that, you will go to jail.
Hold on. Say that one more time. I'm really sorry.
That lower you purchased and you legally registered, if you built it as anything other than a featureless rifle, that's an assault weapon. And if you're found in possession of it, that's a felony.
Okay.
Even if it has a bullet button, even if it has this.
But the problem is that
you can't build it other than featureless.
But we can't make AR-15 pistols featureless because of the overall
You
length.
can't make AR pistols, period, in California today. Period.
Did it start today or?
January 1st, 2016.
So, wait.
That loophole. And that's it. There's a lot to read through, believe me. I read through.
I know. We
There's
already.
a lot to read through, try to
We-
figure it out. Like, that's why I'm telling you, I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer either.
I'm not here to argue the point.
I know, but
right
you
or
guys.
wrong. I'm just telling you what's on the books today and what we get from.
I know, but you guys are the ones that are coming over here to say that you uphold the law, right? And so you should know.
That's what we-
But to know the law, the 2016 one.
We
That's.
believe you were doing the right thing. You're trying to do the right thing. You have no criminal history.
Yeah.
We're just going to take it. You're not going to jail.
And I can't keep the com mag.
We can't take it at this point.
All right.
Okay?
Well, gentlemen. Oh, business cards, please.
I'll give you my business card.
All four,
because
please.
This is my report.
Okay.
This is my report, and then my report is.
I know all you guys are here though.
Yeah, this is because it's my report.
Yeah, I got
You
that.
get my business card.
Yeah, unfortunately, because the guns our department requires at least before they go out, so all they're doing is finding that.
That's odd too. That's weird. I understand you guys have to deal with people that suck. I got it.
Oh, yeah,
There's people that are really, it's like I'm nervous, obviously,
And most people are not going to register.
and that's
No matter what, because they feel that's their right. There's nothing you can do about that.
Well, it does say not to be infringed. But, it does. I mean, it's like, it sucks because it's like I'm trying to be my neighbors are probably like, oh, great. Look at this, the guy with tattoos, it's all nice. Now he has all these fucking cops down at his house. It's like. Thank you.
And his name is written on the front.
So we thank you for your cooperation.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good day.
Now, I got to tell you, there are several issues that I have with this, not least of which being the obvious ones, and that is that these guys showed up at his door all decked out in their tactical gear and gave him an attitude. Here's this guy was, I thought, extremely cooperative, extremely polite. He's trying to ask the officer some questions, and what does the officer do? You're not letting me talk. You're not letting me talk, so okay, fine. So he closes up his little folder there and wants to give the guy an attitude. And I thought to myself, you know what, officer, you're supposed to be a public servant. You show up at a man's house whom you know is an honest, law-abiding citizen. Otherwise, he wouldn't have bothered to try to register the guns. In fact, the officer even said, well, other people wouldn't even try to register them. They know this guy's a law-abiding citizen, and yet they want to cop an attitude with him when he has questions about what's going on, or when he wants to know why the officers don't even know the law. How many times did this guy have to say, I'm not an attorney, which tells me these cops don't even know the laws they're enforcing? He challenges them and says, you took an oath. Well, yeah, to the Constitution of the state of California. Yes, and the U.S. Constitution, which has a Second Amendment in it. Here's some other things that irritate me about this. These guns were confiscated without due process. In other words, he tried to register them. Nobody contacted him ahead of time. Nobody he wasn't given any warning. He wasn't given a chance to rectify the problem. There was no court hearing to confiscate this man's property. They just showed up at the door and confiscated his property. It's interesting, on Reddit, I assume this is him who made this comment. I'm reading on Reddit. He said, I registered before the deadline 2 AR pistols, 10.5-inch, provided pictures of the fixed magazines and serial numbers. They came in a unmarked Dodge Ram for DOJ officers. Here's the other thing I got to tell you. You watch these sheepish DOJ officers, particularly the ones standing around the one that was talking. They don't look like they even want to be there. They don't look like they even want to do this. So I want to know who's pulling the strings to get these guys to go out and do this. There's a bunch of problems with this kind of behavior. First of all, I know this is happening a lot throughout the state. Fortunately, this guy was not arrested today, but I guarantee you there's some upper muckety-muck somewhere in the state of California that wanted him arrested, and he wasn't. For what? Because he's a law-abiding citizen. Here's a few problems with this. As I mentioned, no due process. Secondly, we have a Second Amendment that guarantees our right to keep and bear arms. Thirdly, these are honest, law-abiding citizens trying to do the right thing and yet having their their lawfully owned and personal property confiscated without due process. Nobody gives them an opportunity to rectify the problem when they should. Why don't they just send you a letter or call you and say, by the way, I know you tried to register this, but it's actually not legal to register that. So here, let me give you, you're going to have 30 days to do one of the following. You can take it apart so it's no longer an illegal firearm. You can take it out of the state, or if you want to, you can turn it in. And you can surrender it to law enforcement. And then you just have to prove to us that you've done one of those 3 things within 30 days. You're good to go. Rather than banging on the guy's door, embarrassing him in front of all of his neighbors, and confiscating his stuff. That's another issue with it. Here's the other thing. At what point are citizens going to get tired of this nonsense and resist? Then there's going to be a problem. The law enforcement is going to end up killing some poor citizen who argues with them, particularly if they have an attitude like the cop demonstrated there, where he just doesn't even, well, no, if you're not letting me talk, good grief, dude, take a chill pill, calm down, do your job. Treat honest, law-abiding citizens the way they should be treated. These cops should have, I hope, better things to do, which is go out and chase criminals, not go and knock on the door of honest, law-abiding citizens. How in the world does state law enforcement and do state authorities figure that honest, law-abiding citizens are going to want to register the guns that they insist that they register? How in the world are these law enforcement authorities going to feel justified that they expect law-abiding citizens to trust them or have any faith in them whatsoever? I got to tell you, at this point, I have absolutely no faith in state law enforcement. None. And I'm the son of a deputy sheriff. I'm a man who supports law enforcement on a regular basis. But as far as these DOJ agents are concerned, I have absolutely zero faith in them. I have zero faith that they're going to do the right thing. I have zero faith that they're going to honor the oath that they took. I have zero faith that any of this is going to be ethical, honest, or legal. And sooner or later, this stuff's going to. I'm hoping nobody's violent. I just urge whoever this happens to not to be violent over it. I don't think that's necessary, or I don't think it's something we should do. But I got to tell you, at some point, this is going to end up in court. And if this stuff isn't found to be unconstitutional, I'll be amazed. And when it is, all these people who have lost all this stuff are going to go back and sue the state of California, and it's going to cost the state millions. And all the people who have been incarcerated because these people insist on arresting people who are honest, law-abiding citizens are going to sue the state of California, and it's going to cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars because they do this kind of unlawful stuff. At some point, law enforcement stops being law enforcement, and they start being jackbooted stormtroopers, and that happened today. Can you tell I'm a little heated about it, and I'm a little steamed about it? This stuff needs to stop. So I urge you, if you have not already done so, you need to voice your opinion with regard to this. I think we need to light up the phones of the California Department of Justice and every representative we have anywhere, anyhow, and light up their email and everything else and let them know that this stuff will no longer be tolerated by United States citizens who happen to be citizens of the state of California. I got to tell you, here's my advice, and I'm not an attorney, but seeing what I'm seeing happen, if you have a knock at the door and you peek out your window and you see police officers out there, don't answer the door. Don't answer the door. Just don't do it. If you have anything that you suspect might be illegal, certainly don't produce a YouTube video about it or do anything on social media that declares that you have the stupid thing. And if you have anything illegal, I urge you, get it out of the state before these guys come knocking on your door. And if they do knock on your door and you answer the door, here's the response. Officer, I'm not going to talk to you. I want to talk to my attorney. Can we come inside? No. We'd like to talk with you and ask you some questions. No. Can we see your guns? No. The answer universally is no. And like I said, if you see them out there, don't open the door. Don't answer the door. There you go. I'm not an attorney, but I got to tell you, that's the safest bet. Have a great week. Thanks for watching. Be safe.